I have this theory that it's not okay to be angry. It's not okay to get angry. It's not okay to show anger. It's okay to be sad or it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be bored. It's okay to be depressed. But God forbid you're actually angry about something. And it just seems like over the last 10 or 13 years since the year 2000, as really things have been getting worse for the bottom 98% of the country, they don't know. We don't know how to express ourselves because I think the bottom 98% is getting angrier and angrier. And actually, everyone is with all this manipulation that's going on. Well, I shouldn't say everyone, but it just seems like no one's allowed to get angry anymore. Dads aren't allowed to get angry at their kids. Moms aren't allowed to get angry at their kids. You can't get angry at employees. Employees can't get angry at bosses. People can't get angry in public. It's like it's this emotion that's not allowed anymore. And so it gets pent up and then it comes out. And when it comes out, it comes out in an explosion because people just aren't connecting with people anymore. And this absolutely has nothing to do with the weekend podcast, but I've just been noticing how people aren't allowed to be mad anymore or show anger. I don't even want to say mad because mad isn't the right word. It's really angry. And I think a lot of people are angry about what has happened since 2008, what Wall Street has done, what the government has done, what Ben Bernanke has done, what Janet Yellen is going to do. And Janet Yellen's been there since Bernanke's been in there and since Greenspan's been in there. She's just going to continue the pain. But I just find it interesting that we live in a culture now where no one is allowed to be angry anymore. And so it's just held in until it's not anymore. Now, one of the reasons people are getting angrier is because the problems that came and were exposed in 2007 and 2008 actually never got resolved. Now, the government thinks money printing always works. And my thought for this weekend is that money printing always does work. In fact, it always works every single time at the beginning. And that's why governments do it, because it works at the beginning. And so it feels right. And we know that humans don't learn from other humans' mistakes because we always think we're different. I'm no different. I do things that other people do. I'm not saying I'm any different. But money printing always works at the beginning, and that's why people do it. That's why, and it's people behind the Fed. It's people in central banks, these academic economists. So it's going to work right now in the stock market. It's going to hide all the pain. But here's the thing, there's one chart, and I got a bonus chart for you too with gold, but there's one chart that I think is absolutely intimidating all the money printers around the world, and it's scaring the hell out of them. And this one chart is the 30-year US bond yield. And look at here, just look at the screen here. Back here in August, when it almost broke, right? It almost broke above this 3.9%, not even 4%. 4% is a little bit above here, but it almost broke above this 3.9%. And then Bernanke came out and said, no, 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 no money printing. No, no, please, 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 get back down, get back down. And so it moved back down, but it didn't really move that far back down. And then Janet Yellen was pretty much communicated through news that she's going to be the next chairman of the central bank. And that's more money printing because she is a bigger money printer than Bernanke is and then Greenspan is. And remember, she was there during both of their reigns. But look at this, the 30-year yield is right back up there. It's right back up there where Bernanke had to talk it off the cliff. Well, I think he saw this yield, whether he saw the 30-year bond yield or the 10-year bond yield, this is right back there. What's going to happen? And remember, this is a 30-year, so this is the farthest yield out on the yield curve, which means the government has the least control over this. Yes, they're buying some mortgage-backed securities, but the government has the least control over the 30-year bond yield. And look what it's doing. It's saying, hey, you want to print $1 trillion plus a year? Then you're going to have to pay us more if you want us to give you money. And this is instability. It's potentially big instability if this breaks above this horizontal line here and sits on it. And that's why you're going to want to make sure you have strategies, not ticker symbols or stock picks or bond picks, that can adapt to what is happening. And even though it's not happening right now, meaning you're not seeing necessarily instability or fragility, it is coming. Now, they're wanting to, and let's just put our tinfoil hats on for a second. They're wanting to believe everything is fine. And you can do that with money printing at the beginning. And then they could always say, hey, if things were really bad, how come precious metal mining stocks aren't going up? And look at this screen here. This is a price chart of precious metal mining stocks. They're down 53% year to date. 53%. And notice where it is right here. It is at the exact point where it was on June 26th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago. And this looks like a shoulder here, and this looks like a head here, and this looks like a shoulder here. You know, this is a major point right now for gold. And I don't know who's pushing it down. Maybe everyone's pushing it down right now. Maybe no one's pushing it down right now. But the point is, this is at a major turning point. Is it going to break down? And if it does, it's at about $22.50 now. Its next major support is about $15, or about 33% away from where it is right now. About 33%. So seeing how this acts and reacts is going to be really important. And I know owning gold over the last 2 years has been incredibly painful. In fact, it's only really been painful this year because in 2012, gold just went sideways and in fact ended higher for the year. In 2011, it was fine. It's really been this year as a very painful year. So the question is this 1974 where gold got taken out by 50% and then from there went up 800%? Most likely it is. And just keep the faith, hold on. And the manipulation, the intervention that's going on with central banks all around the world, the day of reckoning will come. And markets will be able to discover their true price again. Right now, they're not, but that will come. And that's not going to happen in like 15 years. This is happening in the next year or two. So keep the faith and keep the strategies that can adapt to the markets. And I want to leave you with, I usually have a thought here, but I want to leave you with a thought and an image. The same people who designed this district in Illinois, the 4th Congressional District in Illinois, these are politicians who created this district. The same dysfunctional people who created this to manipulate and contort and torture the lines into a district that could work for them, right? Because they could no longer win anymore on their platform or just doing good by their normally shaped district. They had to torture and twist and misshape districts, just like the government has to do, just like the Fed has to do, to fit its belief system. And one thing that is true, and history is very clear about this, that all this distortion and manipulation and intervention always cleans itself out, always has its comeuppance. So keep the faith, stick to the strategies, hug those kids and grandkids, and appreciate what you appreciate. Say it out loud, say what you're thankful for, because it does make a difference. You guys have a great weekend. Next weekend in the U.S. is basically Thanksgiving weekend, even though it's on Thursday. I'm going to do a live webinar on Black Friday at 11 a.m. It's going to be kind of fun. Most of the people on my list are men, which means they will not be out shopping. They'll be at home kicking it. And I want to put a great webinar together for those who have done everything right. They got the degree, they got the income, they got the career, and yet they don't see their choices, they don't see their security increasing. And so I'm going to have this great webinar coming up on Friday, Black Friday, to talk about what you can do and the possible mistakes you're making. You guys take care, and I'll speak to you then.